Hello, Mom. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
I'm Deborah Myers. We'll be conducting the IEP for your son.
Mm-hmm.
So how things been going at home?
Oh, good. Just typical teenager on the video games, on his cell phone.
So first, before we get started, I wanted to give you your parent guide, the special education procedure and safeguard. So if you have any questions when you're reading over that, just as we're going along and you have any questions, please just jump in.
Okay. Thank you.
So here's a copy for you.
Thank you.
We're going to be going over. But first, I want to check to make sure that everything on the student demographics is correct. The address, the phone number,
Yes, everything looks correct.
the guardian. So the purpose of this is we're doing an annual review. This is also going to help us transition to high school
Okay.
and get him some classes and stuff that he's interested in that. So based on the assessments that we have taken and the data that we have taken during this year, the team, if you agree, please let us know, and if you have anything to throw in, add in, let us know. The primary disability is the specific learning disability, which is like the area, the need is reading, written language, and math.
Yes, ma'am.
The secondary is identified as areas of need, which we don't really have any at the moment. He's going to be a ninth grader, so we're transitioning into more a life, not a life skills, but a second grading college type,
Okay.
preparing him in high school
For his career.
for his career,
Okay.
yeah, and what he's motivated to do.
Sure.
So he would like to graduate high school and attend a vocational setting to earn certificates in construction, so in concrete welding. He wants to be a construction worker. He reports that him and his family attend church occasionally within the community. He enjoys hanging out with friends, doing art, which is very common in class. So some of the post-secondary training that we're looking at is to give him a career pathway. We gave him a career pathway survey to kind of pick and see what he would be really interested in. So the top three results were the agricultural and natural resources, engineering and design, health science, and human services. He said he wants to become a construction worker. So is there anything you want to add, your goals, or that you have?
No, I envision very similar things, that he graduates secondary, high school, that he goes on to getting his certification so that he can do what he wants. Construction makes good money, and that's what he's always wanted to do.
So going over his independent skills, he does chores around the house, he can cook for himself if needed, he's responsible, his own personal hygiene, self-care, so that's good, so that helps in that. The diagnostician, we're going over this since this is an annual review, we're not going to break this, we're still going off based of his re-eval testing that he had a couple of years ago. He will be re-evaluated again in 2026. So the goal that we're going to be working on will be up until this point. Okay, so the consideration of special factors, he's not visually impaired, he's not have communication disorders, hard of hearing. He does limited English proficiency though, and he doesn't have use of assistive technology. So, and then the discipline is the student exhibits behavior that impedes his learning. He doesn't have any of that, and then he'd be on a regular school-wide discipline plan.
And it's correct that he gets his English language proficiency support through his ELP class, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
For the extended school year, he does not qualify for the extended school year, which he seems happy about, so he don't have to go to school in summertime. So the allowable accommodation for the state testing is stuff that he is selected in New Mexico, the MESA, which is the New Mexico state testing, and for the science. He will be doing the science one this year since he's now in 8th grade.
Okay.
So his accommodations are going to be in math, it's a calculator that is embedded in the computer, and then the text-to-speech, English or Spanish, in both math, science, and then there's math as well. The special ed accommodations that we do for testing within the classroom with a small group, read aloud, calculators, and the short cycle assessments that we do like periodically with the finals and midterms and stuff.
Okay.
His post-secondary goals, we talked about a minute ago, trying to transition him into the workforce. Talking about the construction worker.
And just that he's gonna, the graduate the high school is really what we want for him, for sure. My son and I have really talked about that, graduating high school and then moving into that construction. So yes, I agree with that.
As well. So we're looking at with him going into high school, we're looking at his schedule for the next 4 years. So it looks like that the course of study for the year 2025, 26, he will be taking English 1, Algebra 1, Biology, U.S. History, Careers, Health, and PE. And then the next year, which is 26, 27, he'll have English 2, Geometry, Chemistry, PE, Modern World History, NCCER Core, and Cabinetry.
Okay.
And then he'll have his junior year and senior year, and working more on the trade courses.
Okay.
So, are you okay with the classes?
Yes. I think as long as he gets those credits required for his core classes and then those electives are pushing him towards construction, I agree.
So instructional accommodations that we came up as a team is like in the environment is instruction gives 1 or 2 steps at a time. How to repeat back, having him repeat back what, locking him into the instruction, making sure that he's focused, and redirection, getting him where he's involved and redirecting and focusing and assignments and homework. If you need extra time for responding. We've extra time with oral and written. In the smaller classroom settings, we prompt him. We try to get it out of him, and then prompt on the board, giving him sentence stems and stuff. So, behavior, he's on a regular education teacher. The grade will be determined by the teachers. If anything, or like if he does have a failing grade, we meet together and get things going pretty quick to make sure that we're staying on target with things, helping him, what we can do to help him get his grade up. So do you agree with those?
The accommodations, I think, for the classroom, they sound good. They sound appropriate for my son. I know that he does require the redirection, so that does sound appropriate as well. So I agree.
So now with the reading, Okay, so the goal is that by the end of the IEP date, he will be expected to identify textual evidence that supports the answer to the given comprehension question with 70% accuracy, based on the information, informal and formal assessment given by the special ed teacher. So we're looking at 70% accuracy, and the date will be a year from today, which is February 18th.
I agree with that goal. I think he needs to work on that. That textual evidence is something he's always struggled with, so I agree with the goal.
So let's go into the written language goal. Okay, so by the end, at this time next year, you will be given a graphic organizer. You will expect to write a paragraph, 5 to 8 sentences that include textual evidence that supports an answer to given prompt in 3 out of 4 writing samples, based on informal and formal assessment given by the teacher. So the criteria is to write 3 out of 4 samples. Mastery, hopefully by this time next year. Now let's move on to his math. Okay, by this time next year, given a calculator, you will be expected to create equations that describe number and number relationships with 70% accuracy based on informal assessments given by the teacher. So that's with 70% accuracy to try to get his math good.
Yeah, I do think that's a skill he needs to work on and develop, so I agree with that goal as well.
So, the career readiness. So we are looking at getting him ready for transitioning into the high school, into the workforce. So the annual goal that we're going to be working on during that time will be verbal cues, task analysis, self-monitoring sheets to help him, making sure that he's staying on task. He will be expected to demonstrate appropriate attention to the given task with 100% accuracy based on classroom observations and teacher's feedback. So this way it gets him when he's staying focused on the job.
Absolutely. I like the self-reflective piece of it, so yes, I agree to that goal. I think that's a skill that needs to happen.
Some of the transition planning activities, he will develop improved work skills to become a successful student in school. He will he is not on a DD waiver. Outside, he doesn't need mental health resources. We will be getting the vocational rehabilitation to help out. First of all, do you know what the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation is?
Yes, you shared that information with me prior to the meeting, and yes, I am aware of it. I do think my son can live independently after high school, but I wouldn't mind them coming in and meeting with him about maybe driver's license and such like that. But I do think my son will be independent after graduation.
Good. Okay, so at this time we're not doing, we're looking at the medical and health information. He's not on any medication right now. He currently does not need nursing services.
Pretty healthy boy.
He likes to eat.
He does.
No required emergency evacuation plan, physical education is regular, doesn't have any mobility issues, no transportation issues. Chart with, so that's good on that. So scheduling of services. We always try to make sure that we give them the least restrictive environment, so not to be with his peers as much as possible.
Yes.
So activities with normal peers, you'll go to lunch, library, assemblies, elective, extracurricular activities, just like everybody else. The services that we will be in a smaller setting will be science, English, math, and that's about it. That's it. 'Cause everything else is going to be with his regular peers, science, social studies, and electives, with accommodation and support that he may have an extra.
In the past, for the science and history, he was in an inclusion class. Is that what's
Yes.
continuing? Okay, okay.
Yeah,
And
he's
then
still going to
this-
be in the inclusion class with his peer,
Okay.
just with extra support from accommodation for his teacher as well as another person that can do it.
Okay, and then math and science, or math and English will still be resource setting?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Okay, so.
And it's just it's the class period, correct? So like it'll be
Right, so like if
the
you
200.
if you need to go to English first hour, he's just in there first hour.
Okay,
And
so
then-
it's like I have it right in front of me, sorry. It's the 235 minutes, right? From what I
Yes.
remember in the past? Okay,
Yes.
okay, yep. That's what I thought.
So he'll be in the resource room 15.6 hours a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So the rest of the time he will be in his inclusion room.
Okay. Sounds good.
So his regular classroom is 40%, but he's in setting 2 for his, the setting.
Okay, okay.
Are we cutting short on time? We need to kind of wrap it up.
I do have another meeting to get to, but I want you to be able to have the complete thing done, so whatever you need me to do. But scheduled 2 services for 9th grade year will reflect the same, correct?
Yes.
Class periods, okay. Then yes, I'm okay with that information.
You will be getting a documentation quarterly from the teachers to keep your progress reports going, and that way it keeps you informed on what's going on. That's
Sure.
all. So we agree with everything, the training, the only thing we.
Okay. All right, well, do you want to email me the IEP or what's the best way to get this to me?
Yes, I will email it to you, that way electronically,
Okay.
we make sure everybody signs it.
Okay.
That was here, and that's not here, but they have their input in here, so that we can make sure it's a
Okay.
signed legal document.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
I appreciate it.